Welcome to the Kate Molland channel. My podcast is now in progress. Let's tune in.
Let's say a man and a woman do fall in love with each other. They've got this chemistry, this bond where they want to be together, and they both feel as though, the whole universe revolves around them two. And normally the man, I would assume, would want to push for sex sooner than the woman, from what I hear from most of the people that I speak with. There are some women that push too, but we're talking about, in general, men tend to push quicker. So what I'm thinking, or what I'm saying is, when a man pushes for sex, remember now, we're talking about a man who's in love. We're not talking about, a trick picking up a hooker. We're talking about a man who is in love. We're not talking about a one-night stand. We're not talking about where two people met at a club and they enjoy each other's sweat. Now they want to continue somewhere else. We're talking about a man who is really in love with a woman, and he already sees her as a wife. He wants to marry her. Qualified or not, he just feels that connection.
Okay.
And he starts pushing for sex. So as he starts pushing for sex, coupled with that love, I would be more inclined to associate that with pain. When we said before, how can you tell if a man is in pain? The reason why I say that is because if you want to pull in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 from the Bible, it makes it clear that love doesn't seek its own interests. Now, I don't know if you agree with that or disagree with that, but when a man seeks his own interests, and his interest is how he can gratify himself with this woman that he is in love with. Now, whether or not he's saying, you owe me that because I bought you dinner, you owe me that because I took you to Vegas, you owe me that because I took you to Dubai, we're not talking about that. That would still be, I put that into the pain category too. But I think that any man who is wants to pursue something out of timing with the woman, especially if she doesn't feel as though she's ready, and he's pushing that, that would definitely be, for me, a symptom of pain.
I think I've seen that. And I can see your point, because the man is in a position where he's no longer honoring the woman's feelings, or he's no longer receptive to her temperature in the relationship.
Okay, now I do know that sometimes a man could be alone with a woman and they could start heavy kissing, heavy petting, and then he starts using his hands. And then sometimes the girl is okay with him using his hands. Now, in his mind, that's a green light to go further. So now I'm going to use my hands. Now I'm going to unsnap your blouse. I'm going to use my face below your neck. And she's okay with that. Now he feels as though, well, we can go to the next level. And now the girl shuts off.
Yes.
I'm not going any further than that. And so he is like, well, what do you mean? I mean, we've gone to point A, point B, point C. Why can't I go to the next level?
Right.
And she's like, well, I'm not ready. And now he's upset and he's angry. And he says, well, the evening has been ruined.
Yep.
We were going off a certain way. Now you want to pull this stuff on me, And then the girl's like, okay, well,
I love how it's about him and not about her.
What do I got to do to make this evening work? Well, you're going to have to put out. See, that's what I mean when I say that's how that would be connected with pain. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or a pain manifestation.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying that pleasure may be even that much better, because now a guy is like, he's not really in any kind of trauma or any kind of pain that we would associate the word pain with a person's soul. But he just sees this girl as Pleasure Island. She's just going to be, all types of gumdrops and lollipops and
he sees her as a solution to his heart-on.
You could say that, but sometimes a man can go after a woman and he doesn't view her as a solution to that. He just views her as part of the party. Like, there's a party going on here, and I'm going to party with you, and I'm going to party with your body, and we're going to just party. And this is all about the party. And I'm feeling good, and you're feeling good, so that's a good reason to do it. So the question is this: should there be a good reason for sex? Should it be intellectually approached, or should it just be passionately approached? Meaning, if you're going to approach sex intellectually, does that make it less pleasurable? Whereas if you're just on fire and you're pursuing and ripping each other's clothes off, will that make it that much more pleasurable?
I will say that being passionate at the time and playing that out typically leads to heartache later.
If you're passionate.
Being passionate, yes. If passion is what's fueling that, typically that's heartache later. Then I would say that if you're intellectual about it, and, you know, as a woman, if you want to make sure all your ducks are in a row before you engage in those activities, you may not be as hurt later.
I see what you mean. Yeah, because I do know that when they say intellectually approaching things, you can do the STD talk, you can talk the pregnancy talk, you can talk those things. But then some people say, well, that really throws a cold towel on everything, because now you've left the passionate zone and you've got to now talk about this like a business transaction.
Oh, darn, have to be adults.
Yeah, and so now that we're done talking, I'm kind of not in the mood anymore. What about you? And I'm not in the mood anymore either. You want to go watch Netflix? But at least you got that conversation out of the way so that when you're passionate, because I've seen some films where, some of these movies you watch where a guy and a girl are going at each other so quickly, and the girl's going, well, do you have the prophylactics? Do you have prophylactics? And the guy's going, what? Did you have a prophylactic? Prophylactic? Like they're breathing heavy and they're wrestling and they're prophylactics. What? You know, you have
that needs to stop.
On.
Stop.
Okay, we got to hit the red light here, and that's the end of it.